Hey folks, Daily Landsblog here, and for the last couple of days I've been thinking a lot about the marches all across the world and the statements that were made and how there were many, many women speaking about their rights and their own cause, but there were also men there speaking because really, if you believe in a free society, that an insult against one person, a slap in the face against one person, the minimizing of one person, the taking away of that person's right, is taking away all of our rights. And I've been thinking about that as it applies to mental health. And I was thinking about how, yeah, this may be my problem because I suffer from a mental illness, but isn't it everybody's problem? And I was thinking of that famous poem. Actually, Casey reminded me of who it was. A pastor who had been in Sachsenhausen, which was a concentration camp, which, by the way, we visited a couple of weeks ago just outside Berlin. And he wrote this very famous speech. He said, "First they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. And then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me." And I think, I'm over dramatizing without a doubt, but doesn't that really tell the story of the whole mental health issue, that if some of us have been minimized, if some of us are taken advantage of, if some of us are taken for granted, if it's some of us don't have the appropriate care, then doesn't that affect all of us? I got an email, actually it was a Facebook message yesterday that inspired me as well. And it, very briefly, Lisa Richard said this video made me feel like a 10 and it brought me to tears. I would stand beside you, Michael. We need to stand for recognition and fight for fair treatment and end this stigma. So I don't know what we do with this, but I know that right now we live in a world that is 2017 in so many areas of medicine, but in psychiatry, it's still 1961. And we live in a world where people like me still can't speak out and expect to be treated seriously. We live in a world where the stigma still prevails. What can we do? I don't know, but I saw this sign and I thought, you know what? That really applies to us. History has its eyes on you. We're living in a time where we now understand what the stigma over mental illness does. We now live in a time where we know that of the 4,000 people that kill themselves every year in Canada, many do it because they have a fear of sharing. History is changing, not fast enough for any of us, but history is changing. And I would ask you, what side of history do you want to be on? The right side or the wrong side? Let's find a way to make that statement. SickNotWeak.com, 24 hours a day, 364 days a year. We're here because in many ways, nobody else is.